Hello, this is Michael Rubin. So far, no real progress on getting the audio and video to sync up. My computer guy is looking into it. Also, today a new computer problem. The microphone I usually use, which solves some of the earlier problems of distorted harmonica and buzzing, is not working with my new computer this morning, which doesn't make sense because it worked for the last few videos, but it's not. So I'm using my webcam microphone, which may get a distorted harmonica sound and a buzz. So deal with it. I want to talk about the D major scale, and this is the last major scale we're going to look at, but I want you to think about what I'm doing here is that so far I've done the C major scale, or first position on any harmonica, the G major scale, or second position, and now the D major scale, or third position. I'm not saying that I often play third position major, although I do. What I'm saying is that almost every professional harmonica player can play at a professional level in first, second, and third position. So, even if you're not going to be using the D major scale on the C harmonica, to start getting a familiarity with third position is important. So what are the notes in the D major scale? Well, if you can't remember, 1, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So if D is 1, go up a whole step, D sharp, E, whole step, F, F sharp, remember there's no black key between E and F, half step, G, whole step, G sharp, A, whole step, A sharp, B, whole step, C, C sharp, remember there's no black key between B and C, half step, D. So we've got D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Or using the rule of the circle of fifths, if we start on C and every time we go up a fifth you add a sharp and the new sharp is in the 7th place, retaining the sharps you find along the way. C is the first key, so C, D, E, F, G is the next key. It's going to have a new sharp, one sharp, it's going to be in the 7th place. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So far we've got an F sharp. What's the 5th note in the key of G? G, A, B, C, D. This is the scale we're looking for. D, E. Got to have an F sharp because we already found one in the key of G. So D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, 7th note, C sharp, D. So those are two ways to find the D major scale if you can't remember it. On the other hand, I suggest you memorize it. Work on your scales, on your chromatic. Write down your scales 1,000,000 times. You keep hearing me talk about it, it's because it's crucial. Memorize your 12 major scales. So we're looking for the lowest D. Well, the blow notes are C, E, G, so it's not there. The draw notes are D, D, G, B, D, F, A, B, D, F, A. So one draw is D. So that's our lowest D, the tonic note, the do note. However, is D the lowest note on the C harmonica? No. What is the lowest note? C. Is there a C in the D major scale? No, there is not. What is one note higher than C? C sharp. Is there a C sharp in the D major scale? Yes, there is. So even though this note, C sharp, is lower than the lowest tonic, D, we're still going to write it down as the first note that we write down. It's not going to be the first note that we play. When we play the scale, we're going to start on the D note, the do note, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But we're going to write down C sharp because it's in the scale, it's a note that sounds good. And that's the purpose of writing down scales, to tell us which note sound good. So, where is C sharp? Well, one blow is C, one draw is D. Somewhere in between. Well, maybe it's a bend and maybe it's an overblow. So we're hoping it's a bend. So if it is a bend, we're going to take a note higher than C sharp and bend it down lower to hit that C sharp. What is one note higher than C sharp? D. D is in hole number 1, draw. Is it possible to bend one draw? Yes, because it's a draw note from holes 1 through 6. D goes down to C sharp. One draw bend is your C sharp. Then D, E, one draw, 2 blow. F sharp, where is F sharp? Hopefully you remember from the G major scale. Okay? Part of the reason we're learning these scales is for you to memorize your C harmonica layout. Incredibly valuable. One of my rudiments of theory, the C harmonica layout. So where is F sharp? Well, it's not a blow note and it's not a draw note because it is a black key on the keyboard. There are no black keys on the keyboard built into the C harmonica. So we're hoping it's a bend, because if it's a bend, most of us can play it. If F sharp is a bend, then we need to find a note higher than F sharp and bend down to it. What is one note higher than F sharp? G. Where is G? 3 blow. Is it possible to bend 3 blow? No, because 1 through 6 you bend on the draw notes. Is there another G? The draw notes are doggone. D, G. Yes, 2 draws G. Can you bend it down? Yes. How many bends are on hole number 2? 2 bends. Which bend is F sharp? G goes down 1 note to F sharp. 2 draws single bend is F sharp. 2 draws G. Where is A? Hopefully it's a bend. Now, A is a white note on the keyboard. But if I went doggone big Dallas Fort Worth Airport, 6 draw would be A. That's nowhere near the last note we just played. We just played 2 draw. The A note has got to be close to 6 draw. So, it's down low. We're hoping it's a bend. What note is A lower than? A sharp. But there's no black note on the C harmonica until you start bending. What's one note higher than A sharp? B. Where is B? Doggone big. 3 draw is B. Is it possible to bend 3 draw? Yes, because it's a draw note from holes 1 through 6. How many bends are on hole number 3? 3. 2 draw has 2 bends, 3 draw has 3 bends. Which bend is A? If B is 3 draw, it goes down 1 note to A sharp or B flat, then another note to A. So 3 draw double bend is your A note. 3 draw is B. Where is C sharp? We're hoping it's a bend. If C sharp is a bend, then we need to find the note higher than C sharp and bend down to it. What is higher than C sharp? D. What is one note lower than D? C sharp. 4 draw is D. Can you bend 4 draw? Yes, it's a draw note from holes 1 through 6. Therefore, 4 draw D bends down to 4 single bend for your C sharp. Where is D? 4 draw. Doggone big Dallas. So you have a full D major scale from holes 1 draw to 4 draw. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. This is big news. Now, I don't know how many of you are intermediate players who are saying, you know, I got to get my theory under control. Or how many of you are beginners. But if you were an intermediate player, this might be a revolutionary idea for you. Many intermediate players have the belief that third position is for minor, for playing songs that are minor. So if somebody said, let's play in D minor, you would play third position. This is not true. Third position is for any kind of music you want it to be. Major music has a certain group of notes. Minor music has a certain group of notes. If you can find those notes on your harmonica, you can play that style of music. because every harmonica has every keyboard note from 1 blow till 10 over draw. Every note in between is on the harmonica with bending and overblowing and blowing and drawing. Therefore, every group of notes that create any scale is available on any harmonica. Therefore, third position is not restricted to minor. However, there is a logical reason why most people think that third position is for minor. We're going to jump way ahead now and talk about what makes minor minor. Let's think in terms of the C major scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. I love the C major scale because it's simple. What is the third note in the C major scale? C, D, E, 1, 2, 3. E is the third note. Because it is the third note in the C major scale, it is sometimes called the major third. What is one note lower than E? E flat, or D sharp, but let's call it E flat, because alphabetically it's the same as the third note in the C major scale. That E flat can sometimes be called the flat third, because flat means one note lower than. So if you take the major third and you flat it, it can be called the flat third. And it is sometimes called the minor third. And the reason is, there are many scales that people use to play minor. I can think about 6 of them that I use on a regular basis. However, each one of these minor scales has one thing in common. They all use a flat third. So, if they were in the key of C, every one of those minor scales would use an E flat note, and none of those minor scales would use an E note. Therefore, when you jam in minor, you would always use E flat in the key of C, and you should never use E. Now, I say never. You probably heard me way in the beginning say you can never make a mistake, play any note you want. Well, if you like the sound of a major third over minor music, go ahead and use it. I will warn you, you will be in the minority, and you probably are not going to get asked to play with very many people. However, if you like it, it's good. So, let's look at the key of D, third position on a C harmonica. What is the third note in the D major scale? D, E, F sharp. F sharp is the third note. That's the major third. If we were to flat it and make it one note lower than F sharp, what is one note lower than F sharp? F. So even though F is a white note on the keyboard, in this situation it is called the flat third, because we are taking the third note from the D major scale, F sharp, and lowering it 1/2 step, one keyboard note, F. So we call it the flat third, or the minor third. So in this situation, to play in the key of D minor, you would always use the F note, and you would never use the F sharp note. Well, let's consider our C harmonica. Hole number 2 draw double bend is F, the minor third. Hole number 2 draw single bend is F sharp, the major third. Which is more difficult to play? Well, it depends on what level of a harmonica player you are. If you are in your first year of playing, your answer might be 2 draw double bend is much more difficult than 2 draw single bend. Because for most beginners, getting 2 draw double bend under your belt is a difficult experience. That takes around 6 months till 1 year before you get it consistently nice. And that's, I'm just talking about with my students what I've noticed. I don't know what it's like if you don't have a teacher. Okay. However, for most harmonica players, once you learn to get 2 double bend, it becomes one of the easiest notes on the harp. because you can power it down and get very low just by muscle strength. Boom, you go as low as you can, and there's 2 double bend. Now the truth is that 2 double bend may be a little flat, but it's going to sound pretty close to a good F. Now, 2 single bend on the other hand, F sharp, the major third, takes finesse. So, which is easier? For most intermediate to advanced players, 2 double bend. The minor third is easier. Let's consider the middle range of the harmonica. 5 draw is F, 5 overblow is F sharp. Which is easier? For most players, 5 draw is easier. The minor third. Let's consider the highest. 9 draw is F, 9 blow bend is F sharp. Which is easier? For most players, 9 draw. So in all 3 octaves on the harmonica, the minor third is easier to play than the major third. That is why many people will say third position is for minor, because it's easier to play the minor third than the major third in all 3 octaves of the harmonica. However, this is an overgeneralization. Once you learn to play third position major, you may discover that it's pretty nice and it can do some wonderful things. And we'll continue with this later. Thanks very much.